Hello and welcome to another in my Excel series, and this is another one of the ones that looks at how to deal with password protection, how to take it off, how to get around password protection, and just as importantly how to put the password back on so you have the same user password that was there before, having made some changes. So let's have a look at this one here. This is to do with password protected structure, and I'll just demonstrate what the actual protected structure does. So if I right click down here, I don't get the option to unhide. But if I do Alt F11, I can clearly see that there are other sheets in there. Now what we looked at before was when we had a sheet and it was hidden, we could simply change it to be visible. With the structure protected, we can't do that. Yeah? So we also can't right click and unhide. Yeah? And we can't use the VBA to actually unhide. So what we do need to do is we need to go in and remove or set the value to be visible rather than hidden. Now again, as before, we know that this is a zip or a compressed set of files rather than just a single file. So if I extract and go into the zip, you'll see there's a whole collection of files here. We're going to go into the Excel and we're going to go into the workbook, and once again my workbook XML is set to open up in Notepad just to make it easier for me. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this sheet here, the one called Protected Structure, which is sheet 4, and where it says State Hidden with the space before it, I'm going to cut that out. So I've cut that, and Control S or File and Save. Do make sure, go back in there and see that that has worked. So protected ID4, and that's no longer got sheet state hidden in there. Now the reason to check that is sometimes when you do Control S you might not hit the keys properly, it might not work. Do just make sure that you have actually done that and that it has to come out. Now the reason we just take that out rather than changing it to visible is because the default is to be visible, and if nothing is mentioned it uses the default state of visible. Now let's go back into that folder, choose all the files in there, and we're going to zip them up again. So send to compressed or zipped folder. We're just simply going to change the name of this to XLSX, and let's go before there and change it to unlocked. Don't have to actually change the name of it. I'm just going to put that back on the desktop and delete the files that we don't need anymore. Now when I go into here, I'll double click on there so it opens up in Excel, and we should now see that there are two sheets at the bottom. This is the one that was visible before, this is the one that had previously been hidden, or one of the ones that had previously been hidden. Now I've done nothing to the lock on the structure. You'll notice when I right click down here I still don't have the option to hide or unhide any sheets, but I can type in here to my heart's content. Yep, so I can make changes in this file. All that happens when you lock the structure is that you can't make structural changes to the workbook. It doesn't do anything to the sheet itself. It doesn't lock the sheet to protect it from changes. You'll notice here that the protection is still on. So now if I save this file, and now we can go through the same process again. So we can right click on there, 7-zip, extract to, and it now becomes the folder unlocked. I'm going to delete that one because all the files I have here. We're going to go into here, we're going to go into Excel again, go into the workbook, and now we're going to look for where we have sheet 4, and I paste it in for that sheet 4. The state is hidden. Now you must be really careful that you only have one space before it, one space after it, otherwise it's not going to work. If in doubt, just have a look and see what the other states are, and copy the format for one of them. Again, we need to save this, so File, Save. Now again, I'm going to come in and double check that it has actually done it.
So sheet ID 4, state hidden. Okay, happy with that. Go back into here, which is the root. Select all of those, right click and send to compressed zipped. Let's rename that. Let's rename the whole thing. Unlocked.xlsx. Yes, I do want to change the file type. Let's stick that on the desktop, and now we can delete that one. And now hopefully when I open this one up, it opens it up in Excel, and it should have taken off that worksheet. Now sometimes you do have to do this twice to make it work. So at the moment it's showing, and I think the reason is that if you're actually on a sheet when you save it, you can't then set that sheet state to be hidden. So I've just changed back so we're on this showing sheet and saved it, and now let's just go through that again, and you'll notice that because I was on the sheet initially, you'll notice when we come back into the code for it, you'll see that it's set it back to those default settings of being visible. So if I just go into here and go into the workbook for that particular sheet again, you'll notice that that code there, it doesn't anymore say that the state hidden. Remember we did that? Remember we even went back in and checked it to see that it had been done, but because I was still had that sheet selected, it didn't apply the settings. So now, File, Save, and now this time I'm going to delete that one, go back into here, select all of them, right click and send to compressed, rename this unlock.xlsx, and let's put that on the desktop and delete the files we don't need anymore. Now this time, when I double click to open it up, because I didn't have that sheet as my selected sheet, it now has hidden it, and of course the structure is still protected. So the person would come in and look at it and assume that everything is good, and yet when they come in here, type in their password to unlock, and now when they go on to unhide that protected structure sheet, they see a message from you saying, "Hi, you thought this sheet was locked, didn't you?" Okay, I hope that's been useful, and once more, thank you for watching.